Chris Cox here for another guitar lesson. This is going to be actually the first Kiss guitar lesson of 2023. So I wanted to go back to the Look It Up album and do a Vinnie Vincent era Kiss tune. This is, I think, one of the better power ballads that Kiss has ever recorded. So I wanted to do A Million to One. The tuning for this is going to be a standard tuning if you want to play along with the record or this lesson. So let's go ahead and jump into that introduction riff. Here's the introduction riff played up to tempo. Okay, so let's go over that part. So a lot of strings going to be ringing for this lick, so we don't want to do a lot of any muting for this. So we want, especially that high E. That high E is going to be kind of droning throughout this riff. So the first part, we're going to go down here for the first finger is going to be on the 4th fret of the G. You're going to put your ring finger on the 5th fret of the B, and we're going to play this. So that's going to be G, B, high E. So the first part is just G, B, high E, G, B, high E, and then G, high E. So we're going to skip the B string on the last part. Now we're going to keep that position there. We're going to just take our middle finger and put it here on the 5th fret of the D and do a... It's just going to be D, G, B, back to the G. So we have this so far. Now we're going to shift up here, keep the same shape. First finger is going to be on the 2nd fret of the G string. Third finger or ring finger is going to be on the 3rd fret of the B. And then of course we're still playing that open high E. So it's... So that just goes one time there when we shift up to the 2nd position. So it's just G, B, high E, and back to the B. So let's play that super slow. Okay, so that's the introduction to the riff. Underneath that, let's talk about, because there's obviously 2 guitars and Kiss, so the riff that's going on beneath that, if you want to play this part, is so let's talk about that. So this is basically going to include the E5 power chord, so that's going to be 7th fret of the A, 9th fret of the D, and we follow the, in the beginning it follows the drum line, so it's just a 2 down strums. We shift to the C5, which is going to be 3rd fret of the A, 5th fret of the D string. We do and then we shift a whole step down to the D5. That's 5th fret of the A, 7th fret of the D. We repeat that again. This is played underneath that melody. And then we shift that D and hold that, and then we play it more like a kind of more riffage. Now, so the chords don't change. The only thing on that part is that we're playing the open E, and it's going to be muted. So you're, making sure that, you're adjusting your palm down here at the bridge to where you can get that, muted low E in between these chords. So it's just a 2 down strums. start the first verse. Something I wanted to mention real quick, when we're playing that intro riff, there is a little pause to a D5 chord. So when we do this, you go to that D5 and hold that, and this is right when the other guitar part starts to... So right before that, you hold that and then go back into that same riff again. Now here we go into the first verse. So right after we hit that D5, we're going to hit an E5. That's going to be an open E string, 2nd fret of the A, 2nd fret of the D string. We just hold that chord and let it ring. Then we're going to switch down here to the D5, 5th fret of the A, 7th fret of the D. Play that, just let them know this is where Paul's singing the first verse. Then we shift down here to the B5, which is going to be 2nd fret of the A, 4th fret of the D. And then we're going to go back to the D5, and then back to the low E5 where we started, and then we play this lick. So what we're doing here is this is the B and G string on the 5th fret. So you play B, this 5th fret of the B and G, shift down a whole step to the 7th fret. So back to the low E or the E5. Changes just a little bit here. Back to the D5, what we already learned. Then we go to the A5, which is an open A string, 2nd fret of the D and G. And then we're going to play the C major chord arpeggiated, and that's going to be, and then a D major arpeggiated. So when we play this C major in this position, we have to flatten out that ring finger across the D, G, and B string, and then we're grabbing the bass note here with our first finger on the 3rd fret. So it's just, so that's A, D, B, G, shift down a whole step and play the exact same position, but this makes it a D major, and we play a, so then we come back up here to the B5 and go up. So that's just a, so B5, A5, and then we hold that, and then we're going to go back into that same introduction riff that we learned. Of course, the rhythm guitar underneath it's going. Go back and repeat again. We're going to get a little faster on the 2nd verse here. D5, I'm just going to call them out since we already worked on this part. B5, B and D. We play the same riff again, a lick. Back to the E5. Changes here on the 2nd pass through. We go to the A again, and then we're going to play the C major, B, A, B5, and then we go back to that riff again. Take a second to mention our sponsor. This is the Axentrix A1 Drive pedal by Bixonix. I went to the NAMM show last year, and this was by far the most interesting piece of guitar equipment that I saw there. This pedal has a lot of versatility. You've got 4 different channel options, one being crunch, overdrive, distortion, and fuzz. Very easy to dial in killer tones. You also have the option of buying the foot pedal if you want to be able to switch through the 3-channel option, so you can actually save 3 different tones on this pedal. So if you're interested in more information or want to purchase, you'll just go to the description of the video. There's going to be a link in the website. It'll take you straight to the Bixonix website. Let's talk about the bridge right now. This is right after we've done the guitar solo. So, you know, underneath the guitar solo, we're playing this rhythm. Right after the guitar solo, we go to an A5 chord. That's going to be open A, 2nd fret of the D and G, and just hold that. And then we're going to come down here to an E minor chord and play this arpeggiated part. So let's go over that. So let's start with just what the chord is first and what that position looks like. So go ahead and bar your first finger across the 7th fret of the A, D, G, B, and high E string. Now, the next part's going to be ring fingers going to be on the 9th fret of the D, pinky fingers right behind that on the 9th fret of the G, and then we've got our middle finger anchored here at the 8th fret of the B. You're going to be lifting this finger up and down as the melody changes. So it's, play the melody for you. So the first part's just straight down. It's just a A, D, and then we're going to do a B, G. And then lift up your middle finger. On that last part, thing that changes there when you pick up your middle finger again is you repeat that from the G to the D, and then you're back here to the A5 again. So let me play that really slowly, that melody. Hold that, and then we go to the F sharp, 5. So let's talk about that. So after we've held that A5 chord here, we're going to shift down to the 2nd fret of the low E, 4th fret of the A, and do a. Now, that's 4 down strums on the F sharp part, so it's just 1, 2, 3, 4, and then a quick switch to the D5, which is going to be played open D, 2nd fret of the G. And that's going to be A5 to B5. We've learned that already. Pick the A5, then hold that. So. We go back to the same thing we've already learned. Back to the chorus. So as we're chorusing out, that last little part comes into play, so it just changes up the rhythm a little bit. So we'll go over that. I think it's played through just a couple of times at the very end of the song. So we're playing that normal riff, that chorus riff we learned, but then we come into a. So that's going to be an E5, 7th fret of the A, 9th fret of the D, 2 down strums, and then we're going to come here, shift a whole step down to the 10th fret of the A, 11th fret of the D, that's in F sharp, 5, to a G. So that between that is just a half step, so just shift down 1 fret, that same shape, which is D, which is going to be a G. So that's 10th fret of the A, 12th fret of the D. So to from C5 to D5, repeat it again. And then this time, that's the only thing that's different. So we're going to do that slide from the D5 to E5 back to the D. So all you're doing there, you're hitting the chord only one time. You're not muting anything, so you can let those notes sustain so you can get that slide in. So then it goes back into what we've already learned. And then repeats again. Then it goes right back into the chorus again and choruses out. So that covers all of the rhythm guitar parts for $1,000,000 to 1. So let's go over that killer Vinnie Vincent guitar solo. Go ahead and just play the entire guitar solo front to start to finish slowly. Okay, so let's go over that very first part. This is all based around, this first part is based around the E minor scale. So we do a, so that's going to be a full bend here on the 15th fret of the B. We do a, so a full bend means 2 frets, so you're bending up to this note. Let it back down, and then you add your vibrato. So then you do a, that's going to be from 12 of the high E, pull off from 15 to 12 on the B. So we'll play what we have again. Then when we play that pull off, you're going to be doing another full bend here at the 14th fret of the G. And then once you bend it up, you're going to grab the 15th fret of the B. And then back to the 14th fret of the G. And then you do a, that's going to be a hammer-on pull-off from 12 to 14 on the G, and then slide into the 11th fret of the G. And then shift down here to the 9th fret of the G, so we have, so when we get to the 9th fret of the G, we come up here to the 7th fret and do a, so that's going to be 7, 9, pick it again, and then full bend up. And then you do this. That's going to be a pull off from 9 to 7, and then slide to 4 on the G. And then grab the 7 of the D back to the 4 of the G. So we'll play again slowly. Now you're going to come all the way down here really quickly to, that's going to be the 19th fret of the B, and then that's going to be the 20th of the B, so 19, 20, bend, and then when you do that bend on the 20th, you're coming back to the 19th of the B, so then you're going to come back here to the 14th fret of the G and pull down, and then come to the 12th fret of the G. So bend, and then 12. And then we play this lick. Now let me talk about that. There's basically, Vinnie Vincent on the record, he plays that and comes up and grabs the, all the way down here, what would that be, the 20, let's see, 19, 20, 24, 22nd fret. But you can grab that same note right here on the 15th fret of the B string, and I just did kind of a chordal double stop. I thought it sounded kind of cool. So you could do either. You could do the tapping part, and then go all the way down and grab that, or you could come here and grab that. So, but let's go over that tapping part first. So the tap is here on the 14th fret of the high E. So I'm tapping, pull off. Your other fingers are going to be, you're basically going to anchor this left hand here from the 7th fret and 10th fret of the high E. So this is not going to move. All the movement is going to occur down here with your right hand. So it's tap, pull, hammer on, tap, pull, hammer on, tap, pull. So up to speed sounds really cool, but slowly. That's 14. We shift to the 15, high E. Then to the 17. And then to the 19. And then he would come here and grab the. And now when you do this, you're going to be bending a full bend here on the 15th fret of the B, but you're going to keep this finger, this here on the 12th fret of the high E. You're not going to bend here, you're just going to keep this anchored, but play those two strings together, and it gets that kind of cool chordal double stop. And then you can do a little bit of, you know, tremolo shake there. So let me get over to that tapping part again. And that is the entire Vinnie Vincent guitar solo for 1,000,000 to 1. Thank you guys for watching the video, and I'll have another lesson here for you real soon. Thank you so much.